What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Battleground Podcast, iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Battle. Gonna go ahead and bring in my tag team partner, Eli, my man. There he is. How you doing, buddy? Is that a code of like who's gonna be on? I mean,
I think so.
When we first started having him on the phone, as soon as we got him on before we started recording, I was like, Moose, 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 Moose. Moose, and there he is, Moose,
Boom.
The wrestling god, the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, is our guest on the show. Moose, thanks for joining the show today, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. When we got the email from Ross, I was like, you can't turn the champ down. You cannot say no. And Moose has been one of the guys that every time Ross has sent out the email, I'm like, can we have Moose? He's like, no, he's off doing champion things. He's not going to tolerate just some piddly-wink podcast over there.
Yeah.
And now we finally got Moose.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on. Let's chat.
Man, I'm super pumped to have you on. And I really want to talk about this. Like, how does it feel when people say the reigning and defending Impact World Champion Moose?
It feels good because there's a lot of work that I put in to be in the position that I'm in, and when you come to wrestling, obviously one of your goals is definitely to be the world champ of whatever promotion that you're working with, and that has been one of my goals, and I'm just happy to be able to accomplish that goal. And now my goal is to keep it as long as possible.
For sure. And, we sat there because we were at the Impact tapings when they were in Nashville. And, we watched the pay-per-view. Josh won. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, Josh is kind of getting his recognition. Nope, didn't last very long. Is that the shortest Impact Wrestling reign ever once you cashed in? Was that Josh holds that record now?
Yeah. What is it, about 30 seconds?
If that, however long it took you to get from the top of the ramp to the ring. So yeah. was going into that, was that kind of the game plan? Like, you knew that you were going to cash it in on Josh, or did you want to kind of hold off on that and kind of toy with him?
I had an idea of when I was going to do it. I knew that was going to be the right moment. I knew, because I was thinking about it. What would I do if this was my first time winning? Being a main event of a pay-per-view, I'll probably want my family there and my kids there to enjoy the moment with me, especially if I won. So I knew he wouldn't be thinking about me cashing it in.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the right moment to strike, and I was right. And
yeah, absolutely.
Like, to watch, and as a father myself, like I sit there and I was like, that's gotta hurt, because you not only embarrass him by giving him a short title reign, but you embarrass him in front of his wife and his kid, and his son now has to look up to that and be like, "What happened, Dad?"
Mm-hmm.
It's a big letdown for him and for his wife and his kids. So,
but hey, Moose got to eat. Moose got to take care of himself. So.
So looking back on your year in wrestling 2021, how do you sum up last year for you professionally? Was it the apex for you, or was it still kind of weird? Because I guess half the year you guys weren't doing things in front of a crowd, and then half the year you got back to it. So
2021 for me was a year of growth, was a year of learning, was a year of working on the little things. In what I do as a professional wrestler that we kind of take for granted, and putting all those things that I learned and all those things that I worked on all together to becoming the total package. And I think with all the work that I did in 2021 to win it at our last win the world title at our last pay-per-view was just a show that hard work does pay off. So.
For sure. And, it's been fun watching Impact evolve over the years. I can remember being at the very first Impact. I wasn't at the one in Alabama. I was at the one at the Municipal Auditorium when I guess it was like the official first NWA TNA Impact or NWA TNA, and just watching the product evolve over the years and seeing who's coming in and who's going. And, right move having Moose as the world heavyweight champion. And I know that there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of great champions that have held that title before you. And, you know, there was a big match that you just recently had involving W. Morrissey and Matt Cardona. Both guys have been on this show. And we had this streak going that anybody that came on this show would go on to win gold. Well, obviously that streak ended last week because we had W. Morrissey on the show.
Sorry,
Bruce was
Morrissey.
not letting him have that title. So I guess you're the Brock Lesnar of ending streaks on our show, Moose, for getting that done. But what was I guess your mindset heading into that match, knowing you didn't have to get pinned to lose the match?
No. I mean, it was definitely some close spots there where I almost did lose. And I mean, the honest truth is I'm in there with two great competitors. I mean, you have a Titan in W. Morrissey. He's 7 feet tall. He looks phenomenal. And then you have a guy like Matt Cardona, who's also in great, phenomenal shape and is also very good at what he does, you know. So it was definitely wasn't going to be a walk in the park for me. And I know I call myself a wrestling guy, but at the end of the day, I'm also human, you know. And I knew it wasn't going to be an easy day. I knew I had my it was going to be a tough one, and I had other odds against me. But pulling that match just shows how great I am by beating a guy that's 7 foot and that's skilled, a Titan that's skilled as Morrissey, and a guy as skilled as Matt Cardona, two great, formidable competitors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah. So what's next? Who's next? I guess I should say.
I feel as if you kind of had the upper hand when it came to W. Morrissey, because when we had him on, we talked about you guys working together as a team and, you know, kind of being hand in hand over the last several months. I feel as if you had a one up on W. Morrissey, correct?
I wouldn't necessarily say a one up, but I mean, I know his strengths and I know his weakness. I do a lot of studying of my opponents, and I know both those guys' strengths and weaknesses. And I knew what game plan I needed to have going in. And I mean, like I said, he almost did. He did at one point have me for a 10 count pin, but there wasn't a ref. So what if, right? What if there were a ref? Would I have called out? Would Morrissey be the world champion? But I came in with a great game plan and I put it all together, and I'm still Impact World Champion.
Yeah. Now, one person you've credited with your on your journey to the World Championship was EC3, and you guys had a match. I guess you might call it a thematic match or whatever. Anyways, you guys had your match at Homecoming 2 years ago. What was his reaction to you becoming the new Impact World Champion, and do you plan on working with him more in the future now that you're calling all the shots?
I haven't really. We don't really talk about wrestling. I think our friendship is greater than that of professional wrestling, and knowing him in a personal level, he probably wouldn't even mention it because he knows what I'm capable of doing, and he knows that at any point I could have been world champion. So yeah, being world champion is not something our conversation that we have was about. It's more about life stuff and workout habits and gym stuff.
Do you want to share some of those workout habits? Because boy, do I need to get my ass back in the gym. Work gets the emails of like, hey, there's pizza in the break room for all 6 of you in the building if you want it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stick with my water, my cup of Greek yogurt over here. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
It's all about consistency, man. Like, I mean, trust me, I know that feeling because the last 5 days I've just been on the eat whatever I could get my hands on binge. And I think my body needs it because I've been like going so hard for so long where I need a week or so to just eat whatever I want to eat and not be so strict on myself. But as soon as I get home, just like a reset. But as soon as I get home tonight, I'm going to get back on track tomorrow because I do have shows. I have a show in Fort Lauderdale next weekend that I have to get in shape for. So.
And let me tell you, I follow you on Instagram and I'm like, dude is jacked. So I see some of the workout videos you post and I'm like, there's no way that I ever want to take a photo next to Moose whatsoever, because I will look I will look like one of those old school wrestling fans, the kind of overweight guy that's like, hey, kind of picture. That's what I don't plan to do. But, Impact Wrestling's got 2 nights of action-packed live pro wrestling coming up Friday and Saturday, January 21st, 22nd at the Charles Dodge Center in Pembroke Pines, Florida. And I believe it's the first time since 3,546 days. It's the first Impact show in Fort Lauderdale. That's crazy that it's been that long.
Wow. No, we definitely haven't had one since I've been here. I've been here for 6 years now, so looking forward to it. It was actually the hockey game last night, and there was a few Impact Wrestling fans there, so
That's
I'm
always a
sure.
fun thing.
I know this area is full with wrestling fans, and I can't wait to see how well we're doing those 2 shows.
It's going to be a blast, because if you've ever been to any of the Impact tapings, the live shows, they're a blast. We were very
fun.
We were very spoiled rotten when you right before you guys bounced out of Nashville, because you're like, we don't need them. They're the redheaded stepchilds now. They can go on somewhere. But we were very spoiled when we got to see those. And, watching Hard to Kill, I guess, from start to finish, that was an entire show. I sent out a tweet saying, good luck topping that pay-per-view. But I will say that is going to be one of the top 5 pay-per-views of 2022. And of course, there was a lot of buzz going around about a certain group of Ring of Honor talent popping up in Impact. And I would assume that, they're invading your territory. How do you feel about, I guess, this Ring of Honor invasion?
I have no feelings about it. I mean, I'm happy that those guys who are doing the invading have a company to invade, and they have work, because that was one of the things that was bad about Ring of Honor taking a hiatus, is a lot of guys were not going to be able to make a living. So I'm happy to look at those that showed up, able to still make a living doing professional wrestling. The only thing I hope that whatever they're people up and messing around with people, they just keep that away from me, because I'm the wrong guy to do that stuff with.
For sure. And let me tell you, we've seen one of those guys that have made an impact, no pun intended, that is kind of crazy, and that's PCO. And that's one guy that I would pay money to see PCO and Moose square off. I know that PCO probably won't win that Impact title, though.
Yeah, I mean, it will be definitely a contradiction in styles, and but like I said, style, like they say, style makes matchups, and yeah, I mean, it will be a good match. But like I said, I don't know what's going on with those guys, but they are advised to not come our way with that.
Yeah, just stay far away from the champ. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
Well, so seeing the kind of the niche that Impact's carved out, especially since the new ownership took over with Anthem and all that, I mean, there's really something for everyone on the show, between the X division, the women's divisions, arguably the best in the world right now. You have some of the reality show stuff. I mean, there's really kind of a mixed bag for everyone. What do you think is the biggest challenge for Impact as we start 2022, heading into 2022?
The biggest challenge is, honestly, I think if you watch our shows is just as good, if not better, than that of like AEW and WWE. I think the biggest challenge for us, that if I was running the company, that I would try to do, is expand our following, in the sense of getting bigger venues, and seeing if we could draw a 5,000 seat arena, a 6,000 seat arena, to see, because you never know unless you try it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think that me personally, and it's just my opinion, and I'm not saying it's fact, but to see if we could expand our reach, and see if we could slowly start running in bigger arenas, and because especially for pay-per-views, because every pay-per-views we've had in the last 2-3 years since new management and Scott Demore took over, with pretty much sold out. So let's see if we sell out, instead of selling out a 1,200 seat building, could we sell out a 2,000 seat building? Could we sell out a 2,500 seat building? And just slowly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, keep
Increasing
pushing
our
the needle.
outreach.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to happen because I mean, Impact is doing everything right. There's a lot of buzz around Impact. I mean, every time you scroll through the IWC, there's something involving Impact Wrestling, and you know, you talk about how there's this forbidden door open, and all of a sudden you've got Mickie James, the Impact Wrestling Women's Champion, the Knockouts Champion, showing up at the Royal Rumble, and them announcing it on TV that Impact Wrestling Champion is going to be there. And, you know, you made it very clear on your social media that you've called out, I guess, the Tribal Chief. So the Wrestling God versus the Tribal Chief is a match that we would all would love to see. So who are some other competitors you would like to face as the reigning Impact World Champion? Of course, Roman's got to be on the top of the list, right?
I mean, obviously, yeah, that was the first guy that I said once I heard the whole Mickie. Congratulations to Mickie, good friend of mine, and I'm happy that she's getting a chance to go back to WWE to settle a score, I guess, especially on how she left and kind of like how she was disrespected with the whole trash bag issue. So I'm happy they're giving her a chance to kind of like mend that that whole situation. But yeah, I mean, obviously WWE have a whole bunch of talent, some guys that considered some of the greatest wrestlers in the world. So without names sitting here and giving you different names, just know that there will be a lot of guys in their programming and their universe that I would love to have matchups with.
For sure. That's going to be some fun stuff to see what's going to happen, play out in 2022.
And we're a couple belt guys, in case you can't tell behind him. He's got a couple belts. So when you were carrying around the original TNA world title, you got it done on a white leather strap and caught a real big stir, especially with us belt guys. Do you think you're going to get a custom Impact world title made to kind of, you know, match your personality or kind of make it pop like the white did?
So I'm going to break the news now because they turned now. I actually had a custom Impact World title made, and it was same. It looks exactly the same. It was just on a red strap, on a red leather, and they I pitched it and it got turned down, and I understand why it got turned down, but hopefully soon in the very soon future they change their mind on it, because it was a very cool looking belt. I'll show you a picture of it now. I think guys will be the first to see it.
Yo!
Oh, jeez, man, that looks so good on the red.
But yeah, I know why it was turned down. It was one of those things where, I mean, I don't want to get to the details of it, but it definitely got turned down. I understand why, but who knows? We'll see. Like, if I keep it long enough, maybe it's something that might change their mind on it.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
And you know, I got to tell you, seeing that photo, and I talked to the guy that made that belt, and I've seen the other ones that you've got made from him, with your logo on the strap. Good stuff right there. I kind of wish that the red strap would come out there. I mean,
yeah, that looks real good.
We kind of marked out when the white strap showed up on the Wildcat belt. That red belt would have been phenomenal. It would have been great seeing that on there. But hopefully, you know, you keep that reign going, and they let you bring the red strap out. And real quick before we let you go, because
I got something real quick. When can we expect Impact toys? I think it's been long enough.
Then they just had. I think they do have toys, right? Because I know
they've got the micro brawlers.
They've got the. I've seen some of that, and I think Cardona's doing a few things with people. But I mean, like, I'm ready. I'm ready for like a line. I'm ready for the figures and the rings.
That's past my pay grade.
Oh, I heard that.
I mean, I
don't
figured the champ
control-
has some sort of pull and be like, yo, bro, I need some action figures.
Yeah.
That's way past my pay grade. I don't make those decisions. I thought we had toys with the micro brawlers, but I guess we don't. But
Well,
yeah, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure that's something that obviously the company is working on. Because as I know, those micro brawlers sold out in like an hour when they released them.
Yeah.
Big
It's still
hit.
for them not to make more, right? So
I hope there's some toy stuff. But, again, Impact Wrestling is returning to Florida. There is 2 nights of action, Friday and Saturday, January 21st and 22nd at the Charles Dodge Center. Of course, you can grab tickets online. Go to impactwrestling.com. Moose, real quick before I let you go, because I know the champ's time is very, very valuable. Where can people keep up with you online?
my because of how negative it is, but my Twitter is the Moose Nation, and my Instagram is what I use more is Moose Nation 69.
There it is. Moose, again, the wrestling god, the reigning, defending Impact World Champion. Moose, again, it's been an honor to have you on the show. Definitely going to have to get you back on very, very soon.
Oh, thank you.